On this day, June 4th, 1830, going home. He had a daughter less than a year old. She was waiting in Quito with her mother, Mariana, the Marquesa de Solanda. The war was over. Spain had been beaten, finally, completely, broken at Ayacucho 6 years before. Antonio José de Sucre had done that. 32 years old, outnumbered, facing Spanish artillery on a Peruvian plateau. And he had done it. The last viceroy surrendered to him in person. 300 years of colonial rule ended in an afternoon. And then the peace was worse than the war. Sucre was 35 in the summer of 1830. He had spent half his life fighting, entered the independence struggle at 15, made general at 23, first constitutional president of Bolivia at 30. He had fought across Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru. He had watched the dream of Gran Colombia, Bolívar's great unified republic, fracture and fail at the Congreso Admirable, a parliament that confirmed only that everything the liberation had built was already breaking. Bolívar was dying. Everyone could see it. He had resigned the presidency. He was moving slowly toward the coast. Sucre understood. He resigned too. He wanted to go home. He chose the land route back to Quito. The sea route through the Pacific would have been safer and faster. He chose the mountains instead, through Popayan and Pasto, royalist country that had never forgiven the liberators for winning. He travelled with 7 companions, 2 muleteers, 2 sergeants, a congressional delegate from Cuenca, a servant himself. On the morning of June the 4th, they entered the cloud forest at Barrecos. The path was narrow. The forest was dense. Fog lay across the trail, cold and white and close. The trees stood dark on both sides. 5 men were waiting. They had been paid. By whom exactly, the records disagree. A general named Obando was named by one of the killers in a prison confession years later. Other names appear in other documents. The masterminds, whoever they were never tried. They lived long lives. Some of them held office. Sucre reached the place called La Jacoba. 3 shots, 2 struck his head. The third took him through the heart. His mule went down beside him. He was dead before anyone reached him. His companions fled. His body lay in the forest for 24 hours before his orderly, Lorenzo Caicedo, came back alone to bury him. Mariana would later move the remains in secret to a chapel in Quito. They rested there, largely forgotten, for 70 years. On the 4th of June, 1900, exactly 70 years to the day, his remains were carried through the streets of Quito in a grand procession to the cathedral, where they lie now in a tomb cut from a single piece of granite. Bolívar heard the news in July, travelling sick toward the coast. He wrote that it was impossible to live in a country where they barbarously murdered the most illustrious of generals, the man whose merit had produced liberty in America. He died 6 months later. The republic he had built did not outlast either of them. A country has been named Sucre, a city, a currency, streets in every capital from Caracas to Lima. His portrait hangs in halls he never entered. The fog at Barrecos has never lifted. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. Thank you.